Tonight at 10, urging action as communities come together during COVID-19. Some are feeling the effects of discrimination.
Plus, hotels open their doors to healthcare workers in hopes they can shelter in peace.
And the investigation continues into missing ballots in Wisconsin, why some absentee votes may not be counted.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. In many ways, the pandemic has helped to bring our Northland community together, but not everyone feels that way.
False narratives surrounding the virus has led to a new form of discrimination when it comes to our Asian American community. For one Iron Range native, it's a discrimination that has become all too real. Here's CBS 3's Jesse Slater.
As everyone in the world is feeling the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Even though we're all in this together, we are definitely not experiencing this all together the same.
Some feel it differently than others.
Our Asian American community has been targeted and separated.
Hibbing native Wayne Kangas says he's felt more uncomfortable being in public after hearing some groups refer to COVID-19 as the Chinese virus.
Unfortunately, if you are Asian, especially in areas where people aren't exposed to a lot of Asian people, you're all kind of grouped together as Chinese.
Since the outbreak, Kangas has grown a beard and cut his hair, a look he typically wouldn't wear.
Done that to kind of stay under the radar a little bit more and try to hide.
He says he goes about his days differently.
It's affected how I engage with my community.
In an effort to avoid a reaction of fear he knows exists in his community.
The virus isn't nearly as scary as the reaction of people.
He stresses though he was born in Korea, his life, family, and home has always been in Minnesota.
I am just as much a product of the Iron Range as Korea, in many instances more.
At a time when solidarity is so important, Northland leaders say this is the time for change.
Leave discrimination and racism, behind, and really understand that we all need to get through this. We all want health and safety for all of our family, friends, and our community.
Minnesota lawmakers are taking action against discrimination toward Asian Americans related to COVID-19. They've created a hotline where people can report incidents of racism. You can find that number on our website.
State prison leaders say Minnesota could start releasing low-level inmates as early as next week. Civil rights advocates have asked state officials to release some medically at-risk and nonviolent inmates. They hope it would limit the spread of COVID-19 and save lives. So far, 9 inmates at the Moose Lake prison have tested positive. 7 of them have recovered. The state's Department of Correction Commissioner says releasing some prisoners early from prisons like Moose Lake is likely the best way to create more space. But he says public safety has to be the top priority. Prisoners who could be released include nonviolent offenders who pose a low risk to public safety and are within 90 days of their scheduled release. St. Louis County has also decided to send some low-level inmates home on monitored release.
Duluth police are searching for suspects after 2 fires they believe were set intentionally. Those fires happened in the Central Hillside and Indian neighborhoods between midnight and 1:30 Wednesday morning. No suspects have been arrested. Police also say they're not sure if the fires are connected. Meanwhile, a 3rd fire Wednesday morning in the Cody neighborhood has been ruled accidental. No one was injured in any of the fires.
All right, let's check in now with meteorologist Dave Anderson for a quick look at the weather. Dave, Friday night, how are things looking for the weekend?
Now, things are looking fairly decent for the weekend. It's Monday when things could get just a little bit iffy. Today was gorgeous thanks to high pressure in control. And let's take a look at what current conditions are like now, because that higher pressure still has a hold of us, despite a trough of lower pressure trying to increase the clouds here during the overnight hours. Right now, we can see, though, that to the west, the clouds are thickening. International Falls, Grand Rapids, Hibbing, all getting towards mostly cloudy. Duluth, Solon Springs, Hayward, not quite there yet, but probably will as the night goes on. Current temps are in the 20s and 30s. Overnight low temps likely will dip down into the 20s. And now, let's take a sneak preview forecast look here at what's coming around for the weekend. And tonight, like I mentioned, clouds will be on the increase, temperatures on the decrease, but not so drastically. down around 29 up here in the Duluth area, a little cooler inland. Saturday, a gorgeous day, partly sunny and 50 for the top temp. But Sunday, clouds increasing again as a bigger low-pressure system, one bigger than the one skirting the Canadian border tonight, comes to call. Mostly cloudy sky on Sunday leads to a 50% chance for snow for our region, and for some towns it could stick. And I'll tell you which towns are in the target zone coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. We're learning 3 of the 4 people who died from COVID-19 in St. Louis County were residents at a Duluth assisted living home. That's according to the president of St. Anne's. He says as of this morning, 17 of the residents are COVID-19 positive. St. Anne's is under quarantine, and they're working with the state to stop the spread in their facility. County leaders say the 4 people who died include 3 men in their 70s to late 80s and a woman in her early 60s. In all, 34 St. Louis County residents have tested positive.
Right now, even just going home after their shift can be a gamble for healthcare workers. Many are worried they may be carrying COVID-19 and unknowingly spreading it to their loved ones. ZMC Hotels, which has a regional office in Duluth and operates more than 6 hotels in our region, recognizes that hardship. So they're offering healthcare workers and first responders big discounts on hotel rooms. It's part of their new program called Shelter in Peace. They also have an option for essential workers who just need a quiet place to rest.
A lot of times we think of them as just this big entity, but we have so many doctors and nurses that stay with us. And so because of that, we thought of ideas like we have quiet floors. So for a lot of them that have to work nights and need to sleep during the daytime.
All ZMC hotel staff members have been trained on social distancing. They are also deep cleaning rooms that healthcare workers stay in. ZMC is also working with state governments on possibly using certain hotels as recovery centers for COVID-19 patients who need a place to quarantine outside of their home.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signed an executive order giving first responders more information on patients who have tested positive for COVID-19. The move comes at the urging of 8th District Congressman Pete Stauber and first responders all over the state. The request was made so agencies could conserve their PPE. Now, the Minnesota Department of Health will share the information with 911 operators. In a news release, Stauber said the action will allow dispatchers to inform police officers, firefighters, and EMTs of confirmed COVID-19 at the scene, giving them the opportunity to use their PPE only when necessary.
Duluth officials say they're extending the due date for tourism tax returns until May 20th. The extension applies to both lodging and food and beverage sales. Officials say they want to be in coordination with the state's extension on sales tax returns. This is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers says he is considering extending the state's stay-at-home order. The governors of Minnesota and Michigan have already extended their state's stay-at-home orders. Minnesota's was set to expire today, but has been extended to May 4th. Wisconsin's Department of Health Services Secretary Andrea Palm says they will do what is necessary to flatten the curve in the state. Right now, there's no plan or dates in place to extend the order.
Until we have a vaccine, until we have medical intervention, we are going, as the governor said, to have to very actively manage this outbreak. And Safer at Home is the current tool that we are using.
Governor Tony Evers added they're hoping to craft legislation next week that will further alleviate the burden on those impacted by COVID-19.
More than half of Wisconsin's hospitals do not have enough personal protective equipment or PPE. Those hospitals say they have less than a 1-week supply of goggles and gowns worn when treating coronavirus patients. The Wisconsin Hospitals Association website shows that as of this afternoon, more than a third of hospitals say they have less than a week's worth of face shields, N95 masks, and paper medical masks. Meanwhile, Wisconsin needs volunteers to help the state fight COVID-19. Active and retired healthcare professionals are encouraged to sign up. So is anyone else willing to help outside the hospital. We have a link to sign up posted on our website.
2 U.S. senators from Wisconsin want an investigation into missing absentee ballots in the state. Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson are calling on the U.S. Postal Service to investigate what happened to the missing ballots. In a letter to the Inspector General, both cite numerous instances the Postal Service failed in their mission to get all of those ballots in the hands of voters. On Thursday, the Wisconsin Elections Commission said nearly 1.3 million absentee ballots had been requested by voters, and about 235,000 ballots had not yet been returned. It remains unclear how many ballots were completed by voters and mailed back by the Tuesday deadline.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin voters were told so long as their absentee ballots were in the mail by April 7th, they'd be counted. Now, that might not be the case. The Wisconsin Elections Commission discussed the issue this afternoon. A court ruling says every ballot has to be postmarked, but some postmarks aren't dated. Some commissioners argued ballots received after Election Day without a clear April 7th postmark should not be counted. Others argued if the clerk received a ballot on April 8th, it was obviously mailed on the 7th and should be counted.
Everybody seemed to assume that every piece of mail gets a postmark, which it doesn't. So how many people are we going to disenfranchise over a decorative stamp versus actually having put their ballot in on time?
It is impossible to know if they were mailed on time and shouldn't be counted if they arrived after April 7th. That's what some say. The court ruling just says ballots need to be postmarked, not a dated postmark.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, in a rare sighting, Split Rock Lighthouse is shining bright tonight. We'll take you there and tell you why.
And Dave will have your full weekend forecast coming up after the break.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live Local CBS 3 Duluth.
Coming together makes us stronger, and Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments for peace of mind up to 6 months. Shop at Ford.com or contact your Ford dealer to find out more about home delivery and other vehicle service options. You have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you.
We know it can be scary when you're injured in an accident.
We know the insurance company can be unfair.
We know bills need to be paid.
But we also know what it takes to win.
We know what it takes to get our clients compensated.
And most importantly, we always fight to do the right thing for our communities. Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows injury law.
Nicolay Law, Northern Minnesota's award-winning injury, disability, and bankruptcy law firm.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
1 vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
You wouldn't dump your yard waste into the lake, would you? Raking it into the street is just as bad. Anything in the street ends up in the storm sewers, which lead directly to our lakes and streams. Protect our waters by keeping leaves, grass clippings, and dirt off the street. Distribute yard debris over your lawn or in a wooded area on your property to keep it from running into the stormwater system. Visit lakesuperiorstreams.org.
Night has fallen after a pretty nice day here in our region. Sunshine today and high temps in the 40s made us nearly forget the chill and the snow from the previous day. Now for the weekend coming up ahead, Saturday itself should be all right. It'll warm up into the 50s for a lot of towns. But Sunday, things start to change up yet again. Temps go down, clouds go up, leading to a chance for snow on Monday, a chance of snow that may be light for some, heavier for others. So on that note, we have to take a look at our advisory map because National Weather Service is already putting into place a winter storm watch for our friends on the South Shore. Folks there could be looking at trouble from Sunday night into Monday night. We'll show you that map here in just a second, and there it is. And it runs in a stripe from just outside the Twin Cities up through the snow belt here. Once you get towards Douglas County, though, and into Minnesota, it looks like things aren't going to be quite so bad. I'll show you the latest chart on how much snow could fall in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to take a look at what's happening with those current conditions. And the current conditions are going to show the things going on right now at Duluth International, where the current temp is 37. Relative humidity is 50%. Southwest winds running 6 miles per hour, and our air pressure pretty normal, Midland at 1,012 millibars, but there's a little low to our northwest coming by tonight. That's going to increase the clouds, try to overtake that high. That brought us the dry day here today, but it really isn't going to be that big of a deal. The high should probably still win out on Saturday, but the bigger low from the southwest, that's the one that could come to call beginning on Sunday, increasing the clouds and leading to a 50% chance for snow on our Monday. And right now, this latest estimate does indeed show it to be on the heavier side for folks in the snow belt. The South Shore from northern Wisconsin into the Upper Peninsula. Minnesota may get a trace of about 2 inches. So not a bad deal there at all for folks who are tired of winter. It looks like at least one more shot of it here, though, before things do start to change up. Coming up right now, we have the forecast for Minnesota tonight, where low temps should run from about 25 in Ely to 31 on Park Point with a mostly cloudy sky. In a southwest wind running 5 to 15, actually only 5 to 10 miles per hour. Into Wisconsin we go, and Michigan too, where the low temps there have that narrower band, 26 to 28. But again, at least it's above zero. What's happening for the UP and Wisconsin for tomorrow? Well, with at least partial sunshine, I think we're going to see some pretty nice high temps that'll be running into the 50s for a lot of towns, 52 in Superior to 55 down around Hayward. And southwest wind, that'll go 5 to 10 miles per hour. Into Minnesota, the high temps will be in the 40s in the tip of the Arrowhead and a good chunk of the inland portions, but from Duluth down towards Moose Lake, 50 to 54 degrees. And the northwest wind, that's what's going to keep it a little bit cooler towards International Falls, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our extended forecast. That extended forecast shows clouds increasing. Then on Sunday, temperatures dropping too. Easter Sunday, only 39. Then the 50% chance for the snow on Monday. Again, heavier for the snow belt, much mellower for the rest of us. And then winding down to some flurries come Tuesday. Kristen, Tony, Kelly, keep your shovels handy, especially if you're thinking about venturing over towards Ironwood. They'll get at least one last workout before we can hope that spring finally, firmly takes over perhaps by next weekend.
I'm just going to embrace that 50 and sunshine tomorrow and worry about that snow on a later date. Thanks, Dave.
Ashland city officials are moving forward with plans to build a new $4 million police station. According to a city document, they're now asking construction management companies to bid on the project. Ashland officials say a general contractor has already been selected. The project will be funded by the city. We did reach out to city officials about how this would affect local tax dollars. No one has responded as of news time. Construction is set to begin in May. It should be finished by August of 2021. Ashland police have been trying to secure funding for a new police department for several years.
Popular northwest Wisconsin camping destination is restricting visitors. The Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest is delaying the opening date for all recreation sites. Forest Service officials say camping and campfires are also banned until further notice. For the full list of restrictions, head on over to our website, CBS3Duluth.com. And more money is on the way to help protect the Great Lakes. Federal officials approved adding $20 million to the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative budget. The average annual budget is $300 million. The head of the EPA says the extra money will help remove toxic sediments, prevent invasive species, and restore wildlife habitat.
The Split Rock Lighthouse on the North Shore is shining bright tonight in a show of solidarity in the fight against COVID-19. The beacon of the more than century-old lighthouse is only lit a few times each year, reserved only for special occasions. While it is beautiful, you can't check it out in person. The lighthouse is currently closed to the public. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Vikra steps up again. We'll show you how the local distillery is helping the community.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Healthy Systems USA Spring Sale is going on now. Get a free bottle of Healthy Start Spray and lose 30 to 50 pounds in just 2 months with purchase of 1-month program. It's like getting 2 months for the price of one. Use code FREESPRAY online today. Limited supply.
Through all the world events since 1936, Culligan Water has continued to provide better, safer water with our filtration systems for homes and businesses. These days, as a designated essential business, Culligan's water professionals are standing by ready to help.
It's dinner time in America, and the breadwinner arrives home from a long day at work. Now the family can sit down at the table, where everyone knows to be mindful of their manners.
Dinner time has changed. Our quality hasn't. Reynolds Wrap, foil made in the USA since 1947.
Your Lake Superior Honda dealers want you to be safe. And right now, you need a car you can count on and your dealer to go the extra mile. And while everything is changing around us, one thing hasn't changed: our commitment to you. That's why we're working to follow all government guidelines and doing everything we can to help you stay safe with a reliable car that's ready to go when you need it. For details, call your Honda dealer or visit shophonda.com today.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Sparta. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
CBS3 is going live at 5, focusing on bringing you hyper-local news and weather. Getting the stories that impact your community the most, right down to your neighborhood.
130-year-old.
We're live outside the Husky Refinery.
The city of Duluth is getting a new hockey rink.
A new convention center is coming to Virginia.
Special ed here in Finland welcomes the mushers from
CBS3, live at 5.
Healthy Systems USA Spring Sale is going on now. Get a free bottle of Healthy Start Spray and lose 30 to 50 pounds in just 2 months with purchase of 1-month program. It's like getting 2 months for the price of one. Use code FREESPRAY online today. Limited supply.
Take up to 25% off Columbia now at NorthwestOutlet.com.
Northland, when you want the most new country, make the switch to Cat Country 98.9 KTCO.
Never met a girl like you. What makes you country?
Number 1 for the most new country.
At the start of the pandemic, Vicar Distillery in Canal Park started making hand sanitizer and giving it away for free. They ran out quickly, but just made another batch and today made it available to the public. The demand was huge, very long lines stretching all the way to the Blue Bridge. People were able to fill a 16-ounce container for free or pay $25 for a 1-gallon jug. From 9:30 to 10:30 this morning, it was reserved for people ages 60 and older. 10:30 to noon was for healthcare workers, first responders, and other essential members of the workforce. At noon, it opened up to everyone, a service a lot of people are thankful for.
Since we are better prepared and we're able to kind of assemble all the ingredients necessary to create the sanitizing solution, we've got people that were ready for the last week or two. So we had that line around the block of the building, and it's been going strong all day.
If you'd like some but couldn't make it today, Vicro will continue the service next week until it's all gone. They plan to post store hours over the weekend.
One local family farm is hoping to keep their business going by moving their products online. David and Patra Wise own a small family farm in Sawyer, Minnesota. That's west of Carlton. They were planning to sell their tea, honey, and maple syrup at a local farmer's market. With social distancing measures in place, the safest alternative was to move almost all their business online. David says they might not have had a website if it wasn't for what's happening.
We just started the business, so we didn't have a lot of products in different stores. We just kind of had samples out there right when this hit. And so the website is kind of how we're going to be able to do our business here, we hope, in the future.
They say during this time they wanted to give back to those on the front lines, so they are offering a discount and a free bottle of hand sanitizer for healthcare workers. A link and details for the sale are on our website.
Coming up, the future of the XFL may be in trouble. Kelly Hinseth is in with sports next.
Take control of your time by signing up for Minnesota Power's My Account to get instant access, free online payments, track energy use, and more. Tap, pay, done. Register today at mnpower.com. Minnesota Power, we're moving energy forward.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Sparta. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
Our goal is an environment of decency, quality, and mutual respect for all human beings and all other living creatures. It's tremendously encouraging to see all across this country the remarkable interest on an issue which is not only just an issue of survival, but an issue of how we survive.
A small idea, a world of change. Join us on April 22nd to commemorate 50 years of Earth Day.
When you watched CBS3 Live at 5, you saw the news and weather of the day that affected you most.
Essentia took action.
Elected officials are encouraging everyone.
Race course up the North Shore.
You received a live, local look at what was happening around you, your family, and your
The
neighbors.
city of Hayward competing
For the Radcliffe Band in Wisconsin.
Crafters in Gilbert to a sewing factory.
For stories that are focused on the communities you live and work in, right down to your neighborhood. Continue watching CBS3 Live at 5, weekdays at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Understanding the world begins with the right questions.
Do you trust Kim Jong-un?
Doesn't the blame reside with Jewel? Is it now our top terrorist threat?
With the right people.
So you have forgiven?
I have now.
Right here.
Check this out.
More news.
I'm Tony DeCoppel with CBS News.
More original reporting.
It puts everything in perspective. We are on a mission with NASA.
Every morning on CBS This Morning.
We're going to begin with breaking news.
Come on down for big laughs.
Hello, everybody. I like those glasses.
Trying to imitate you.
Come on down for rip-roaring fun.
Amazing. You made it.
Come on down for spectacular surprises.
$35,000. Just won $200,000.
Oh, yeah. It's a new car. You need this in your life.
Yes. Boy, is it going to be a good hour.
The Price is Right. Weekday CBS Daytime.
Minnesota Power's mobile app puts the power at your fingertips and lets you take My Account with you wherever you go. Pay your bill, make account changes, track your energy use, and get power outage information anytime, anywhere. Minnesota Power, we're moving energy forward.
Welcome back into sports. If we are looking at the right here and the right now for UMD men's hockey, specifically the blue line, they're not going to have much problem reloading. It turns out that Andover alum Wyatt Kaiser is heading to be a Bulldog this upcoming year, as I reported yesterday. And yesterday I also had the chance to chat with Kaiser about what it means for him to be coming up here next year, along with other things. Take a look.
Like, from the minute that you said, this is my school, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to play college hockey, can you take me back?
Kind of after the Five Nations tournament, after that kind of crazy tryout, going overseas for the first time playing for USA, came back and kind of was deciding on colleges, and UMD just felt right. I mean, the culture was good, the coaching staff was good, there's good people all around. So, I mean, it felt right, so it wasn't really that hard of a decision. And then I kind of just went with it, kept playing hockey. And that led me to here, really.
What about the coaching staff was so appealing?
I mean, they're just good guys. They weren't trying to... I mean, there were some colleges where they kind of talking a lot, like, hey, it's this, and they just kind of said, hey, if you want to come here, we got a good school, we got a good team, we're here.
Pretty good team. Have you paid attention the last 2-3 years? What they've been able to do?
I'm excited. I mean, it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, I can't wait.
All right, NHL rankings. Do you ever sit back and just go, there's me, there I am on the list, like, you know, Andover's Wyatt Kaiser, number 37.
I don't too much. I mean, every once in a while I do. I kind of just sit back and go, but I don't know. I don't really think about it too much. I mean, I try not to worry about it. I'm just playing hockey. Outside things, that's fine.
You've seen, this up-and-coming program, and you're I would say you're kind of leading the charge there. How much pride do you take in that? And not just that you lead the charge, but just how far the Andover High School hockey program has come in the past few years.
Trying to put Andover on the map, let everybody know about it. Kind of going forward, being a power program. I mean, it's really meant a lot to me.
Your sister is not too bad at hockey either.
Oh, she's fantastic.
So she's committed to the University of Minnesota as a sophomore. You're heading to UMD. How's that going to work?
The parents might be split. I mean, they're both Sioux fans, or they both went to UMD, so it'll be split now.
So you got UMD, you got your parents, North Dakota, and then you got your sister at Minnesota. What do you guys joke about that?
All the time.
The future of the XFL is in serious doubt today. The league held a conference call with all of its teams today and reportedly announced that it was shutting down operations. The league also laid off most of its employees, saying they would be paid through Sunday, and a small staff will continue to man the league offices in Connecticut. The league canceled their remaining 2020 scheduled games on March 12th in response to the coronavirus, and the XFL has apparently issued refunds to season ticket holders for this season and for 2021. All that being said, the league has yet to make any official announcements about its future. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Choose to make a healthy difference in people's lives and join our team. Visit EssentiaCareers.org.
The nursing program at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is really challenging, but it has to be. It's approved by the Board of Nursing. And graduates here have been successfully passing the state board exam. They give you real-world experience with healthcare institutions across the community. I'm really glad I chose Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
You gotta feel it to believe it. Get Extreme Internet starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. With fantastic speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Dynamic streaming video, so real you can feel it. Amplified in-home Wi-Fi and all the power you need to power it all. Get Extreme Internet starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. Call 844-EXTREME2.
Here are some quick tips for a safer shopping experience. Though reusable bags are great for the environment, they can be a carrier for bacteria. Before shopping, please wash all bags. Try to keep 6 feet or 2 shopping carts of distance between you and other shoppers. Plan ahead so your trip can be quick and efficient. Though cash is accepted at most businesses, cash can transfer bacteria. When possible, try to use cards to lessen the risk of spreading illness. With your help, we can keep our neighbors healthy and workers safe.
Kelly Henseth takes her job at full throttle. There's no slowing down. She's full of enthusiasm.
Kelly brings a youthful exuberance to the newscast. She's loaded with energy. She's really passionate about sports.
I think even if you're not interested in sports, she draws you in.
She's always up and ready to go and ready to show us the latest in sports.
Get to know Kelly Henseth weekday nights on live local CBS3.
Sports are my passion and the love of my life. And when you watch a sportscast, the biggest compliment that I get is that you seem so excited about what you're talking about. And that's not an act for me. Who doesn't want to see someone, deliver their news in a fun way? So if you love it, I love it, you're gonna see the authenticity that I think I bring to CBS3 Sports.
Watch sports with Kelly Henseth on CBS3.
I chose a career that isn't easy, it's dangerous, and it's hard. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College has set me up with everything I need to succeed. Through challenging classes, longer defensive tactics training, and instructors who work in the industry, Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is setting me up for success.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Well, before we leave you tonight, we have a special goodbye for one of our favorites here at CBS3. Our director, Jack Schmid, is leaving us, and we are very sad.
We're very sad. Jack's been directing the evening show for about as long as I've been anchoring, actually, about a year. He does all the behind-the-scenes stuff, the stuff that you don't see, like queuing up this video, switching our camera angles.
Hanging out with my dog.
Hanging out with your dog.
We are sure going to miss him, and we just wanted to pay a little tribute because he is behind the scenes, so you don't get to see him.
Nope.
But he always is giving us some really good laughs, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and directors are vital to our operation here. Without them, we don't have a show. So, and they never get any of the glory, so this is our way of giving Jack just a little tip of the cap, you
and
might
we had
say.
to sneak this in.
We did have to sneak
We had
it
to
in.
put something different in to trick him a little bit. He's telling us he checked it. He was looking.
We don't believe him.
All right, Jack. Well, we are sure going to miss you, and we appreciate you watching us tonight.
We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.